Hi guys, Firmbie with you for episode 30 of 15-Minute Makeover. Great to have your company once again. For those of you who are simply new to the channel or just come across this video on YouTube, this is a series where I'll grab a car from Car Mechanic 2015 and see if we can do the repairs within 15 minutes. Last episode we did the Salem Kieran, so if you missed that you might want to go and check that one out. While you're over there, give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. Maybe even chuck in a comment down in the comment section. It'd be great to hear from you. Now, as you can see from the list description there, a list of jobs that we have there. We've got find and fix any running gear problems. So we're looking for things like the shockeys, suspension parts, rubber bushes, things along that nature. And a lot of those we'll come across are quite evident as we start pulling those off. Brake problems. Brake shoes, calipers, that type of nature, and car is loud. Basically anything to do with the exhaust system that falls into that car is loud category. Repair and replace body parts, so it's going to be straightforward. And as you can do is just taking those body parts off now, getting those fenders off. Generally I'd like to do is just take them all off and repair them up, and just note that your repair level is 69%. That's our magic number today, so there's no need to repair it any further than 69%. And the other one was paint with factory colours, and we do that over in the paint factory. Now, if you don't have that, if you don't have the paint shop yet, then it's actually a good thing to grab. It does increase the variety of jobs that you do. So if you want a bit of variety in the game, you don't have the paint shop already, then I strongly recommend that you grab the paint shop. Well, that's if you can afford it. I think it was 50 grand off the top of my head. If I'm incorrect there, guys, just correct me. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this video actually, as I said, is episode 30, but it also covers all the cars in Car Mechanic in one form or another. So if you'd like to see more repair videos made, then let me know in the comments, or perhaps you'd like the longer versions of the full restorations. It's your choice, guys. As I said, just shout out in the comment section, and I greatly appreciate the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. So we're just in the process of getting these panels back on. This trunk going on now, and that left and right tail lights. Let's whack that bumper on. Just a couple of these doors to go, and the front panel. And I like to just bounce back and check whether we've actually covered everything. So as you can see, I've got a green light there, so which is awesome. That's why I do actually flick back to the inventory there, and it just shows you whether you've actually covered all the necessary repairs. So just chucking it in the paint shop, factory colours, and that's set by default, so you don't need to change anything there. Fairly quick and easy one. If you want to customise the colours, then you certainly can do that. It's $1,500 off the top of my head, and you can pick any colour that you like. Often quite good for those the restoration jobs that I quite like myself. Though, as I said, a longer video, but yeah, I actually enjoy those a bit more than these repairs. Now, speaking of repairs, let's get into it. A few more things that we've got to find, and we'll start digging into the motor now and see if we can find those parts we're looking for. Some of the parts were listed in our jobs list when we first started, and some of them aren't, so we'll just have to dig and find and see what we come across. Now we've just got the exhaust manifold coming out now. It's part of our exhaust system, so that obviously falls into the car is loud category, so we need to pull him out and repair him up, and if it doesn't repair up, then just purchase brand new parts. Now, just a quick note, guys, if you're familiar with Sony Vegas Pro 11, what I'm actually finding, I'm actually just viewing the footage as I put this audio track down, and sometimes the preview window does go dark. So if you're familiar with Sony Vegas Pro 11, perhaps give me an idea or a bit of a tip as to why the preview window sometimes goes dark. So I'm only presuming that it's the computer not being able to keep up with the video footage and be able to display it for me as I talk. But if you got any ideas, guys, then perhaps it's a setting thing that I'm not seeing. Yeah, just post that down in the comments below. I'd love to get your feedback on that particular one. Let's get back to this build there, and we'll get that rear tyre off, and a lot of these brake components will need to come off. As you can see, those calipers are rooted, those brake shoes also need some love. What else are we looking for? Those suspension parts there, so the shock absorber springs will need to come out. The outer tie rod's going to be fine, but the inner tie rod's going to need replacing as well. That sway bar and steering rack is going to need some love as well. I wonder if I can reach that. Perhaps I may not be able to reach that exhaust system while I'm at this position. So we'll get that shock absorber and shock absorber spring out while we're here. We'll spin around, get these the same on this side. See that shock absorber cap? It's going to need some love as well. What else we got there? And we got the exhaust from this angle here, the middle exhaust, and that I think that one's just simply called the exhaust pipe from memory. I'll get this rear tyre off and get the brake components off from this side as well. Calipers, shoes come off fairly quickly as so. Oops, wrong button. Oops, gets a bit closer. There we go. That rear wheel hub will need some love as well. So we'll get the bolts undone, beg your pardon, on that particular one. Get that spring and spring cap out, so we can get the suspension arm, is it? It was a rear suspension arm. You'll have to excuse me sometimes, I do actually forget the name of these parts, but unless we just call it that long skinny thingy that we need to remove. You can see what I need to remove out. Just taking the fuel pump out there. That fuel tank's fine. No, he's okay as well. As I said, the magic number is 69%, so anything lower than that will need to be taken out and repaired or replaced. Anything higher than that, they can stay there. So, as I said, it's always good to remember what your repair number is. There's no point repairing things up above that. You just waste the money and run the risk of over repairing and breaking and having to purchase new parts anyway, and no one wants that. Just grab a sip of coffee just to wet the old whistle, and we'll get this what's the upper suspension arm, is it? And as you can see, we'll need to take that what's it called, suspension rod, and let's see what we have remaining. We found all those car is loud parts with the exhaust brakes, and it looks like we've actually located all the parts. Some of them were listed when we first started, some of them weren't, so we had to just dig and to find those parts that were required. Just repairing those up to our required 69%. Now what I'm going to do here, guys, is just cut the video short, a little bit short, and just take out some of the purchasing footage, just again in effort to keep this video to a reasonable length. And welcome back. We've purchased most of the parts now off camera. Just to the looking at the last of the parts that we need now. That's in a tie rod. Just simply write tie there and get rid of that out of the inventory. Just checking whether there's any other parts that we need to purchase, and I don't think there is. So let's get back into the rebuild. Get all these parts that we repaired or replaced. Most of them did not actually repair, so as I said, it did take a little while to purchase all those parts. Again, using the tablet, just simply stand next to the car and use the tablet to purchase those parts. Just saves you walking all the way over to that computer and back again. I don't know about you, I'm just a lazy fuck. I just don't like walking when I don't have to, so it is a handy thing to have. It's probably one of the first things I would recommend to get if you haven't got already. It does make life a lot easier. Let's tighten those bolts up on that sway bar and get that cap on. Once those are on, we can get this tyre on. As you can see, the tyre is not the best of shapes, but it doesn't require repairing on this particular job, so we'll just leave it. No point spending money where we don't have to. Get the sway bar back in on this side. Excuse me. We've got those ventilators, brake shoes and calipers going on now. We should be able to get this. No, won't be able to get the tyre on yet. We need that inner and outer tie rod on before we actually get that tyre on. So the outer tie rod going on now, and we should be able to. There we go. Should be able to get this tyre whacked on like so. Just again, guys, if there's something in particular that you'd like to see in Car Mechanic 2015, then just whack it in the comments section. I'd be happy to have a look at it and see what I can help you out with. It'd be great to hear from you as well. Let's not forgetting these rubber bushes. They are notorious. Well, actually, I am notorious for forgetting those bloody rubber bushes. So it's important and good to actually take mental note of making sure that they're actually put in before we move on to the next section of the car. So it's a pain in the butt having to go and find the damn things afterwards, and to go and see if you can find the ones that you've actually missed. So just make mental note of that when you are doing repairs. We'll just get this tyre on. Again, the tyre's not in the best of conditions, but he doesn't need any love, so we'll leave him as is. What do we got remaining? Is it the drive shaft or no? It's the exhaust system. We'll whack that middle muffler in there. We'll come around to this last quarter and get the remaining of the suspension parts in, the shockies, the shock absorber cap, shock absorber cap spring, those sort of things. Put back in. There we go, and the spring cap and spring itself, and the cap on top of that. Shoes and calipers, and we should be getting very close to completing this particular job. Actually, timing wise, we'd be getting very close, guys. We do allow ourselves a 15-minute. What have I missed here? As I was saying, we do allow 15 minutes, and sometimes we are successful and sometimes we're not. I do try to keep it around that 15-minute mark, but as I said, sometimes we're successful and sometimes we're not, but that's just the fun of the game, isn't it? Now, what am I missing? Oh, we'll actually need that put in there. You won't go too far without the exhaust manifold. As I said, anyway, I certainly wouldn't be a very good real-life mechanic leaving bits out and not forgetting to put bits back in, fully charging the customer. Anyway, green lights across the board, which is fantastic. Money spent on the job, 4,920. Bonus for completing the task was 2,009. Bonus for completing the job was 2,460, which gives us a total earned of $9,389. Awesome work. Alright guys, I do thank you very much for your company, and I look forward to it next time. What is this heresy? There is just a clear example of what I was just talking about, is forgetting parts, guys. I did the round out and totally forgot one of these spring caps. So as I said, there's just a clear example of doing exactly what I was talking about. So we're going to have another quick look at those numbers, guys. But we did do a rundown of those numbers a moment ago, but as I said, a clear example of what I was telling you about is not forgetting all those parts. So again, thank you very much for your company, guys, and I'll catch you next time.